Tomorrow sees the start of the quarter-finals. 2 games for you, Croatia against Brazil. But we'll kick things off by looking ahead to the big one in the afternoon, Netherlands against Argentina. For more on, just a reminder, take a look at the odds. Argentina are favourites going into the tie to make it through to the semi-finals. The Dutch at 13-10. Let's welcome in, shall we, Don Hutchinson is with us. It's been a while, Don, but we don't care about you for the moment because Pascal Kamperman is here, our Dutch football expert. Pascal, how are you feeling?
Well, a little bit nervous, to be honest, but, well, also a lot of confidence for the game of tomorrow, I think.
That's good to hear. How are they feeling in Holland? Do they recognise themselves as underdogs going into this tie?
Yeah, I do think so. The feeling in the group stage was not that good. People in Holland thought, well, it was a little bit boring, the games in the group stage, but after the USA game, well, there was more confidence, and if there is a result, of course, people say, hey, okay, now it's going on, the tournament, maybe we will go into the semi-finals or maybe even into the final. So yeah, more people are more enthusiastic right now after the USA game. But of course, if you see the game, it was not that good. It's not the typical Dutch football, I think, but well, it was a little bit better than the 3 games in the group stage.
My concern would be, Craig, from the 4 quarter-finals, this one has got 2 of the biggest names, but I think it might be the less appealing to watch, in the sense that I think other teams have been playing better football.
Well, that's it then. It's 4-4.
Yes, well, that'd be brilliant if it was.
3-3. Well, I think the Dutch, as Pascal said, have gone about this competition so far in a different manner now. Some of that might be down to the fact that they haven't played well enough and have been pushed back and have had to defend. And maybe they're just a little bit more cautious as well. Look, Depay wasn't fit to start the tournament. He's had some game time. That's a partnership with sort of Gakpo coming from a bit deeper that's working for them. But I just don't think the Dutch are in a position that they're going to go and really dominate a game. We saw some changes in the middle of the park with Kloopmeiners, De Roon coming in, and so I really don't know what he's going to do in that position. I think that's the area where he has got maybe 1 or 2 decisions to make, but particularly with Messi playing.
Pascal, what do you think, if any, changes we're going to see from the starting 11 that beats the USA, particularly, as Craig mentioned, trying to stop Lionel Messi?
Yeah, well, I don't think it will. I think it will be the same starting lineup if you compare it to the USA game. And of course, they knew Lionel Messi is a big threat and they have to defend him very well. Maybe one of the central defenders will pick him up and. Well, of course, it's very important to see you have Frenkie de Jong in midfield. There's no doubt about it. But position next to Frenkie de Jong, will it be Martin de Roon again? I think so. So he has to. That's a very important player as well, defensively in the Dutch squad. And yeah, they have to defend solid like they did so far, because the defense, there's nothing wrong with it in this tournament so far. But like you said, well, in up front, we do have some problems. Memphis is on his way back, I think, after his injury. Gakpo is doing okay. Position on number 10 position, Klaassen, I think he will start again. But yeah, maybe it can be Steven Berghuis is also possible. But well, I think the starting lineup will be the same as last game.
Isn't it amazing, right? If you look at all the quarterfinals, every other game we're like kind of slavering over because we can see goals and excitement.
Yes.
But this has kind of got, what's this going to be like?
Because of what's
can you imagine if
yesterday
Messi...
you were talking about how they're going to stop Messi.
Hold on, let me finish. Can you imagine if Messi was injured?
Oh, right.
What would we be talking about?
But he's not injured.
Not injured.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that we're talking about the Netherlands here.
Yeah.
You think of the history of the Dutch and the way they play the game and everything, and we're struggling to find really good, positive things to say. And if you take Messi out of the equation, we're kind of doing the same thing with Argentina.
Right.
And it's the quarterfinals of the World Cup.
Yes.
It's a little strange, isn't it?
Stay in bed.
I mean, I might just watch the highlights.
Right, Don.
If there's any.
Welcome to the show, Don. How do you stop Messi?
Well, I heard Van Dijk talking about him today, and he said, I'm pretty sure it was tongue-in-cheek, but he's pretty sure what he was saying. He said, well, when we're on the attack, we've got to be careful because Messi will be sleeping somewhere, but then all of a sudden he'll come alive. And I think that's been his tournament. I think he's been playing on emotion. I think in some games he's been anonymous, but in other times he's lit the games up. I think the Mexico game, I think off the top of my head, where he got the winning goal and it was like he was drifting, weren't particularly playing well, but then come up with that moment of magic, that moment of genius where all of a sudden I think his World Cup's starting to light up. I think it's gathering momentum. I think tactically, like the boys are saying, Dan, I think tactically this is the most interesting game because Van Gaal for sure will have a plan, but I think he might get his sort of teeth into it a little bit too much and stifle the game. I don't think Argentina are one of the best teams in the tournament. I've said that since day one. Defensively, they're not particularly good. They don't really dominate the ball. I think the Dutch will dominate, but I still think it'll be really, really close. It'll be tight.
Van Gaal's press conferences have been great entertainment in this competition, and he didn't let us down looking ahead to this game. Di Maria was critical of the time that he managed him at United, and he said, well, Di Maria calling me the worst manager he's ever had. He's one of the few players with this opinion. I'm really sorry about this, and I find it sad he said this. Memphis had to deal with it too in Manchester, and now we kiss each other on the mouth. Do people love him or hate him in the Netherlands, Pascal?
Well, it's a bit of both, I think. Well, most of the people like him because there's no doubt about him. He's a very good coach and he's a very good manager. And of course, he likes to make some jokes. In his mind, it's a joke. Not everyone can really accept that joke and understands maybe the joke. But yeah, you hate him or you love him. And well, I don't know exactly if the most people will love him, I think, and some hate him because of his arrogance or with jokes like this. But I'm sure we gotta miss him because, like you said, every press conference he don't let us down. There's a lot of entertainment.
How big a disappointment will it be?
He's dancing when he.
How big a disappointment will it be, Pascal, if they don't make it past Argentina?
Well, the goal set before this tournament was a quarter-final. But of course, he always said as well, there is a big chance we can win the World Cup. He didn't say we will win the World Cup, but there is a big chance we can win the World Cup. Yeah, in my opinion, my prediction before the tournament was quarter-final, Argentina, and then we're out. It's still possible, but yeah, well, maybe there is also a little chance they can go on and go into the semi-final. So, of course, there will be a lot of disappointment when they go out tomorrow. But, yeah, we will see.
He's always carried a bit of arrogance, or a lot of arrogance.
Yeah.
But I think his recent health battles, to me, seems to have, Van Gaal, that is, seems to have given him a slightly different perspective. Not to say that he still hasn't got a lot of confidence in himself, but I think he has sort of mellowed a little bit. We've seen that in this competition. Let me tell you about Di Maria. One of the things, when Di Maria was at Manchester, he wasn't up for the fight. Manchester United were not in a good place. He wasn't up for the fight. He goes to he's off the back of Real Madrid, where they pretty much not got it their own way, but they dominated. Comes to Manchester, it's a bun fight. Didn't fancy it. Goes to PSG, get it their own way. Happy Di Maria. Goes to Juve. Guess what Juve is at the moment? A bun fight. Yeah. Where's he been? Nowhere to be seen. Yeah. Nowhere to be seen. You wouldn't want to be in the trenches with that guy, right? So I'm sure Van Gaal's laughing that off, and I think secretly he'll be hoping one of his Dutch players sticks one on him really early tomorrow. But not getting sent off, obviously. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's not the first time he's heard the next player with a grudge against his management style.
Let's take a look then at the predictions that everyone has submitted ahead of this game. I'm going for the Dutch to win on penalties. Don is going for Argentina to win on penalties. Craig and Stevie, meanwhile, believe that it will be Argentina going through to the semi-finals in 90 minutes. Pascal, what do you think? What's your prediction?
Is there already a win for the Netherlands in 90 minutes? No, I don't think so, right? Then I go for a win for the Netherlands in 90 minutes.
Yes, I like it. I like it. Why Argentina on penalty, Don?
I just think it'll be tied down. I just think it will be. I think I've seen enough of Argentina this tournament where I don't think they're particularly exciting. As I said, they're playing on moments, they're playing on emotion. I think Dutch will dominate the ball. It just depends on, I think, what Argentina go with at the back. If they go with Otamendi and Romero, I think there's every chance Holland might beat them. I would be stunned if he doesn't go with Lisandro Martinez. He's their best defender by a long shot. So I think Van Gaal, when he gets the teams in, if he sees that back four, he might change his tune, he might change tactics once the teams come in. And then Holland have got a real chance of winning. I've just got a sneaky feeling they'll go through because of Messi factor on pens.
You said he's been lazy, Don, in the games.
But he's producing, isn't he? He's producing. I mean, you know, I don't think he's been lazy. I tell you what I've done, Dan. I think what I've done over the last probably 2 weeks is I've been judging Lionel Messi on Messi of 5-10 years ago, and that was a little bit unfair because he's obviously not the same player. And then I've sort of come to realise where if you just judge him on being a footballer, he's still actually brilliant. If he plays as a midfield player, he's still better than most midfield players. If he plays as a number 10 and he's allowed a bit of freedom and a little bit of time and space, he's still better than most number 10s. And I think he's grown into the tournament.
You both think Argentina in 90 minutes?
Did I?
Yes.
Okay. No, I didn't. It wasn't 90 minutes. It was just Argentina to go through.
Right.
I didn't specify.
Okay, you put 2-1.
I've no idea. I just fancy Messi and this Argentina team just to have a little bit more flair, a little bit more creativity, and been able to handle the Dutch front line. So that's why I've gone for Argentina.
Pretty much what Craig's just said.
Right.
They've just got
you have a little bit more enthusiasm for life, Stevie, today.
It's been a busy week.
I see this game as being dull. That's the only problem. I'm struggling to get up for it.
Oh, it's the World Cup quarter-final, Stevie.
I know, which is weird, isn't it?
Pascal, it's going to be interesting because it's going to be very much like an away match, isn't it, for the Dutch, given the amount of Argentinian support we're expecting at this game?
Yeah, of course it will be very difficult for the Dutch team. I think there will be 1,400 Dutch fans in the stadium tomorrow, but it's just a small part of the stadium. There will be a lot of noise, and Virgil van Dijk, our captain, said, well, it's important maybe to score a goal early.